Brand marketing leaders and executives give me this question all the time. How should I think about sampling on TikTok Shop? So today I'm going to walk through the decision framework that we use at Social Commerce Club, one of the biggest agencies in North America for TikTok Shop. I'm going to give you my 4-step framework. Let's get into it. Step number 1, stop treating sampling like a checklist. I see brands do this all the time. And it's a really, really big issue. It is not a checklist. This is an investment decision. And we're going to get into this in step number 4. We're going to talk about making the bet and what we're actually going to be looking for, because it's not the same for every single brand. And that's what you need to understand, that not every brand, we can't just put this into a checklist. What we need to look at is we need to understand the metrics that we're going for, and we need to understand what the point of the sample is exactly. So step number 2, we're going to use metrics as our inputs into your specific brand algorithm. And again, guys, when I get to step 4 and I talk about what kind of questions that we're going to be using, you are going to see exactly what that is. So yes, we look at recent GMV for every single creator. Absolutely. We look for post rate for every single creator. Again, post rate is really interesting. I'm going to actually be making a video again on the different metrics that we use to talk about when it comes to creators, when it comes to ads, all of that kind of stuff. And I think that's really important. We look at content quality. I think that's really important, is to really understand, like, when you're saying yes to a creator, does their content actually line up? Now, we can't be too picky. And then I also love to look at different signals that TikTok is bringing back to us. And a lot of that has to do with virality, right? So if a creator understands the virality and understands how to get that virality on the platform, that's really, really important, especially when we start to measure things like content value, right? When we actually measure what that is in terms of CPM, so that's cost per 1,000 impressions, and the amount of impressions that they are getting out when it comes to your product. So that was step number 2. Those are the different metrics that we're going to start to look at when it comes to the creator. Now, step number 3, and this is really important, especially for the executives out there that are watching this, and I know a lot of you guys are, when you're trying to make decisions about TikTok Shop. Step number 3 is to zoom out and really get the full context. So creator side questions. And this is really where I think that the gold is, right? Number 1, is their content good enough to sell anything? Number 2, do they post like it's a job or like it's a hobby, right? How long have they been on the platform? Do they understand the platform, or is this an Instagram influencer who's moving over there? Do we want to waste that money on a sample? And I'm making this video, and I probably should have said this at the beginning, because I see so many brands invest so much money in sampling to just terrible creators because they don't really understand, right? These people have not been on the platform long, or maybe they have been on the platform a long time and they actually get it, right? They understand the nuances of it, and they've actually put time in. That's really important. Do they engage in the community? I love to go and look and see, like, have they actually been commenting? Have they been responding to comments? Do they know how to make content that's based off of previous comments? That's really big. Do they, when they find a great product, do they double down on that product? That's a really big thing, right? Do they understand that they need to make 4 to 5 videos to actually test whether or not the product is going to be good? If not, it's probably not the right person to send there to. Is there an obvious use case for this product? Does their page feel like someone who gets it? I know that these are kind of like fluffy sort of ideas out there. Fluffy, I feel sound like an AI. Not an AI, everyone. You will see that constantly with my ums and ahs and all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I like to think about. Does this person actually feel like they get it, the creator, right? If so, then we want to send a sample to them, because at the end of the day, we want to create deeper and deeper relationships with creators. Now, brand side questions. What is the goal, right? Is this GMV max? Like, are we just trying to like get as many sales out there, or is there brand control? At Social Commerce Club, guys, we work with some of the biggest brands in the world. A lot of them want to have brand control, and that's really important. And so we need to know that going into this. Is this a brand control thing? Do we need specific types of creative? One of the brands that we've worked with for a long time, at one point, wanted a certain kind of creator, because on the brand side, they were trying to go after that particular kind of creator. We understand that at SEC. That's what we are doing constantly. Another brand side question, like, what is your sampling budget, right? And what's the volume that we all align on, right? When you're trying to sell this to your executives or to whoever you report to, what exactly do you need to do for that? Do the unit economics work? Again, I've got, and we'll throw this down in the description below, a link to our forecaster, right? Do the unit economics actually work? When do they work, right? At what point do you actually get over the hump of actually being able to break even? Now, we have in this calculator, one of the things that a lot of brands realize is like, oh my gosh, I actually need to get to quite a substantial amount of scale before I start to break even. Absolutely. This is not a channel. This isn't like Facebook ads where you can be like, oh, I'll put $100 in and see what the return is. No. You need to go all in on this channel. Do you have the inventory to support this? I've seen this with many brands. We had a brand that worked with us over Q4. They continue to work with us, but they were doing $10,000 in sales. And in November, they did $700,000 in sales. That's a very big difference. 10,000 to 700,000. We actually ended up selling out of a bunch of different items, and that was not in their forecast to actually sell out of those items. Since then, they've gone back in stock. December was incredible as well. We just continue to scale with this brand, but that's really important. We were kind of freaking out because we had sold through the majority of the stock that they had. Luckily, we were able to get them onto a good cadence of getting inventory and all of that kind of stuff. Again, that's a bit of a smaller brand that we work with, but still really, really great to almost get into that 7-figure monthly range from month one, which is pretty wild. Now, does the category fit their audience, right? I think that's another really big one to look into. Is the person that we're looking at, does their category fit our audience, right? And brands, how aggressive do you want to be? Is this a channel that you really want to scale? And if so, then your budget has to tell me that you are willing to scale. Now, step 4 is when you are going to make the bet. And I know I've been talking about step 4. Every single product that we send is an investment, right? We want to place it where it has the highest chance of creating some real value. And that's really, really important. Either now, right, which is performance, and you're always making this trade-off, right? Is it now with the performance or later with the relationship? Now, I still personally consult, and I don't, just so everyone knows, I'm not taking on personal consulting clients, just so everyone has an idea. But there's a big brand that came to me that really wanted some personal consulting. And I said, okay, I'll do it for you. And just because they're, more like 9-figure sort of range, they did not have a creator community set up. And I'm going to do a whole video on how to set up a creator community. I think it's really important where to set that creator community up exactly. But they had no creator community. And so people would just do one-off posts to their creator community, which was kind of shocking, right? There was no continuity. And so you need to have continuity as a brand, right? Don't do this if you're not going to create a creator community. You need to have them all in one place where you can then actually send those samples and send those messages out to them, right? So you're either going to be optimizing for now, which is performance, or later, which is relationship. My way of doing this is to optimize for both, right? You need to be optimizing for both, right? If you're unsure, pull someone in, right? Talk to some experts. Something that I have now actually just recently launched is a new mastermind in this place, in this space. It's called the TikTok Shop OS Mastermind. Again, this is not wasn't even in my script or anything like that to talk about, but I wanted to let you guys know because it's really important to actually have that support from people in the space, right? Another thing too is we are releasing a new beta product in the market, which nobody has done yet. And I'm really, really excited about at Social Commerce Club. This is the TikTok Shop operating system. It's the exact same system that we install into every single brand that works with us at SEC. But now we're actually opening it up to every and all brands doing over $10 million in revenue on other channels. One of the questions that I get often is, wait, what if we're already working with another agency? Yes, we can still help you, and you can use the exact same operating system. The agency can steal it. We don't care. It's totally okay. We've got lots of business. We have more business than we could ever do anything with, but we really want to help install this TikTok Shop operating system because we see a lot of really bad players out there not doing great work with that. I will put the link down there, or you can just Google Social Commerce Club, or the first one that comes up when anything to do with social commerce. There you go, guys. I hope that was helpful. I will see you guys on the next one.